Hello, fellow megatennists. Today is a really big day if you're a Megaten fan. Today we got two big announcements from the Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase. Amazingly, we are getting a Nocturne remaster, something that's been hinted at as early as August 2018. And we also got a release date and a new trailer for Shin Megami Tensei 5. So first, let's talk about Nocturne. So this game is interesting because it's not only going to be released on Switch, but also on the PS4. They've already shown what the collector's editions look like. For the Japanese collector's edition, they're gonna have a real Ayakashi monthly special issue. So this is supposed to be the next issue that was supposed to release but didn't because the apocalypse happened, and it'll feature artwork from the game and some new info and descriptions. There's also gonna be a special 2-disc set soundtrack with piano arrangements as well as rare tracks, whatever that means. And we're seeing a return of the Amala drum. Instead of being a standing incense burner, it's gonna be a plug-in aroma lamp. So that's pretty exciting as well. And to top it all off, we're getting a live stream to celebrate in about 3 days. So July 23rd, we're gonna be getting a live stream and it'll probably show off some more info. The big takeaways from this new remaster is that we're getting voice acting. They've already announced the Japanese voice cast as Reina Ueda as Chiaki Hayasaki, Takuya Iguchi as Isamu Nido, Daisuke Ono as Hikawa, Takeshi Maeda as Joji Hijiri, and Suzuko Memori as Yuko Takao. In addition, they're also going to be including a merciful difficulty level, so that's essentially an easy mode for new people, which will be delivered as DLC, which can be downloaded for free. And last, this also seems to be the Chronicle edition of Nocturne. The Chronicle edition is different from the Maniacs one, as it contains Raido in place of Dante. I think that's a really good call, especially if they're gonna go ahead and possibly release more PS2 remasters in the future. The two Raido games are on the PS2, and I believe we have Digital Devil Saga as well as Persona 3 left on that roster. So this would be a good way to kind of slowly get into there, but I also think that they probably didn't do the Dante one because they probably didn't have the rights to it anymore. I think it's really interesting that the art they're using as the main promo art is actually the Tsutaya box art from the vanilla version of Nocturne, and that I found that pretty interesting. All in all, the trailer is beautiful. The graphics just look better. It's really surprising how well they're able to kind of adapt and not sacrifice. So it still has the beautiful color work, the cinematography, the textures look pretty much the same. All in all, I'm very excited for that. In terms of release dates, we're getting it October 29th, 2020, or that's for the Japanese audience, and the Western audience is getting it spring 2021. Next up, let's talk about Shin Megami Tensei 5. Shin Megami Tensei 5 was also shown in this, and we got a pretty big bit of news. The biggest thing for me is the simultaneous world release. So it's gonna release worldwide 2021 at the same time. Still a Switch exclusive, so if you were hoping that it would somehow be multi-plat, no, it's not. And I will say that initially I was pretty critical of the way this looked because I thought, okay, well, the Switch might not be able to make it look beautiful, but it's really good. You can see it's adapting Doi's art very well. The initial scene that we see inside the subway has been altered from what we saw in the initial, or the second trailer rather. So we don't have the female character there at all. We have the male, or possibly their female, that's a very androgynous design. And we see other people wearing the same school uniform. And it's all very interesting. When they first showed the trailer, it had the subtitle, The Time of Genesis Coming, which I find very interesting because, again, Genesis is a reference to the Bible. The book that the protagonist is holding is John Milton's Paradise Lost, another very interesting religious reference. That book being kind of a bit of a revenge story. Very interesting, highly recommend you read it. And we see a lot of interesting things in the trailer. The main character, who in the second trailer didn't seem to survive, seems to be saved by this entity who comes down through a spark or a shot of lightning. That character, we can see almost who they are, but not quite. And it looks like they partner with them, or at least they assist in some way. It's hard to tell what demon or character this is because it looks like it's a new design. Featured prominently in the very first trailer, we saw Odin, and that leads me to believe that what if this is a reinterpretation or proto-Odin, or the lightning aesthetic kind of makes me think Thor, because before we saw the Nocturne Thor in the initial teaser. What if this is the adaptation of that. And it kind of gives that whole Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse vibes with Dogda and the protagonist. Whether or not you like that is up to you. Another thing I thought was interesting about the trailer is that they don't use the modern angel design, which some people like to call Bondage Angel. They rather use the old angel design. And when I mean old, I mean the design from SMT2. And in that shot where you can see clearly numerous angels and archangels and a couple of powers, you can also see that there's some sort of strange thing in the sky. What looks to be like possibly a moon or some sort of other celestial body that's really close. And you can see that Tokyo Towers in the very back. And we also get introduced to this new demon design. It's the same demons that slayed the protagonist in the second teaser. They look to be some sort of imp, but this is a new design for sure. And at the base of what looks to be Tokyo Tower, you can see Lucifer quite clearly in his more demonic depiction. Another thing I thought was really interesting is that underpass that we saw that was very important in the second teaser is the same place that the protagonist seems to awaken from. In the initial teaser that we saw that underpass, we saw a lot of archangels as well as chaos demons dead. And when he awakens, there's all these towers and there's glittery sand. And the thing I find most interesting is that they seem to do this editing to the footage where when you see that deity or whatever arrive and it's from the perspective of behind the protagonist, they put an overlay over the face so it's harder to figure out who it is. But if you consider this for a second, the new design for Odin has a metallic body, which when I initially saw the redesign for Odin, I didn't understand it. It seemed very arbitrary. But when you consider that the Devil Survivor design for Balder or Belder is also metallic, it almost makes it seem like maybe they're doing some sort of theming and Doi was just matching the theming of Kaneko's Belder, which makes me think that this new metallic-esque demon is possibly a redesign of another Norse character. Again, the lightning makes me think of Thor the most, though they showed Thor's model, the Nocturne model, in the first trailer, so either that was just a red herring or maybe this is a reimagined Thor design. Don't quote me on that though, because I don't want to be mad if I'm wrong. So all that being said, I do think this is still a log game. I said that in my previous video, everything we know about SMT so far, SMT5 so far, and I kind of want to stick to my guns a bit. I think that this is sort of a interesting take on the Megaten formula. Based on everything we see, there's just a lot of questions, and I think that that's genius. That's pretty much what you want from a trailer. Given the broad strokes nature of the release date, I would say that we might not be getting this spring of 2021, probably summer or fall, or worst of all, we might get it winter 2021. So what do you guys think? What do you think about who that character is that rescues the protagonist? Are you more excited for Nocturne or are you more excited for SMT5? And I don't ever really say this, but please subscribe to this channel because I'm gonna be doing a lot more SMT related content very soon, especially if you like Nocturne. Have a couple of videos related to that in the works. So subscribe, and yeah, thank you so much and goodbye, fellow megatennists.